So for page number 17, it says -5 plus 17q is less than or equal to -6 times 13q minus 15. What is the greatest possible integer value of q? So greatest value of q. So when it says greatest value of q, we want to start here because whichever one is the highest and works out is going to be the one that works out for us. So we're going to start at D, and we're just plugging this in for q. Okay, so this one is -5 plus 17 times 2 is less than or equal to -6 times 13, and our q is 2 minus 15. And this is a calculator section. Okay, so got my calculator here. This right here, 17 times 2 equals 34. 34 minus or plus minus 5 is going to be 29. Then I'm going to do this inside what's in the parentheses first. So it's going to be 13 times 2 is 26 minus 15, which is 11. So all of this is 11 times -6. So that's going to be -66. That doesn't work out. 29 is not less than -66, so that doesn't work. Let's go to the next biggest number. So it's going to be -5 plus 17 times 1, and then you're going to go 6 times 13 times 1 minus 15. Okay, so I'm going to start with this one. 13 times 1 is 13, minus 15 is -2. -2 times -6 is positive 12. Okay, so this is, again, 13 minus 15 is -2. This is -6, so it's -6 times that is going to be positive 12. Less than or equal to 17 minus 5 is 12. So that is equal to. It doesn't mean that it has to be less than, but it says or equal to 12. That works. And C is your answer. Okay, number 18. In number 18, it says y equals x plus 5 squared and -y equals x minus 1. And then for this question, your answer choices are going to be -8, -3, 9/2, the fraction, and 5. So we need to label these answer choices. In the solution to the system of equations above, what is the smallest value of x? So this is smallest value of x. That means we're starting with the smallest number. Notice they go from small to bigger. Okay, so we're going to start with 8. So one of this is x, okay? So we don't know what the y is, but we know that the x is going to be -8 plus 5. -8 plus 5 is -3, right? -3 squared is 9. So basically y equals 9. Okay, we're going to have to plug it into this one now. -y equals, and we already know that -y is really -9. Okay, and we have to see if once we plug this in here, if it'll work out. So we go negative, so the x we plug in, -8 minus 1 equals -9. So if y equals 9, we're going to fill that in. Does -9 equal -9? Yes, and that is your answer. Okay, so the next one says, number 24. It says 16 over z minus 2/3. And this is in an absolute value equals 10. Then which of the following sets? So one of these sets, A, B, C, D, this is going to be -12 over 7. And then you got -12 over 7, 3 over 2. Then you're going to have 12 over 7, -3 over 2. And then you're going to have 12 over 7, 3 over 2. Okay, so you guys know that this is a calculator section. Okay, so you have to know that the word set does not mean that this is an x and this is a y coordinate. A set means from this range all the way to this range, any number in between or these numbers can work. this number can work here and this number can work here, and it will equal 10. So both of these numbers, when they get plugged in for z, can be equal to 10. Okay, so if you use your calculators and you start with 10 or a, you'll find that negative 12 does work. Okay, but if negative 12 is the only one that's going to work, then a will be the answer. But you see that negative 12 is also right here. So I'm actually going to start with b, because if this one works, then I also know that that's wrong, because that one doesn't include 3 over 2. 3 over 2 is also an easy number in a decimal. It's 1.5. So I'm going to start with the easiest one first, okay? 16 over 1.5. I'm doing this in my calculator. That's going to equal 10.666, okay? Minus 2 over 3, I did that in my calculator, and it's this. So does that equal 10? Yes. 10.666 minus 0.666 equals 10. Equals 10 equals 10. I know that this one works. Okay, so what I can do is I could cross this one out, because a negative would not work. A negative is going to mess up the math. I know that this one is also out too, because this works and it's not included in here. Therefore, A is wrong. Okay, so now I'm going to try out this number to just make sure that this one works, because if this one doesn't work, then I know that this one is the answer. So let me go with negative 12 over 7. So in my calculator, 12 over 7 equals 1.71. So 16 over negative 1.71 is 16 over 1.71 is 9.3666, okay? And then we know that if, by the way, that's a negative, okay? And then we're going to have minus, so it's negative this plus negative this, but it's an absolute value sign. So when we take it out of the absolute value sign, that becomes negative 10, basically negative 10, but it's an absolute value sign. We take it out, 10 will equal 10. That works. And that's why B is the answer.